Welcome to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meeting. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First of all, is there disclosures of pecuniary interest? Anybody? Very good. Seeing none. I need a mover and a seconder for the approval of the agenda from November 28th meeting. We have Ms. Fuller, Councillor Reid. Any questions, comments? Any questions? Nothing? All in favor? Passed. I need a mover and a seconder for the approval of the minutes for the October 23rd meeting. Mover and a seconder, Councillor Boyce, Mr. Whitney. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Passed. Okay. Do we have any public input? Nobody in the audience today? No public input? No delegations or presentations to be made? Any correspondence that came through for us? Anything? No? No. Okay. As per usual, we turn our meeting over to Director Grimond, who keeps the ship sailing straight ahead. Okay, it's your show.
Thank you, through Mr. Chair, to the committee. A couple of updates for today. I've got my colleague, Ms. Reid, with me here, our Special Projects Coordinator, who has, as I've mentioned in previous meetings, hit the ground running and is definitely helping to move some things forward for us. One of those items being a update to our booking and cancellation policies. So previously we had an ice and a floor rental booking policy that was specifically for those two purposes. Didn't really speak to room and hall rentals, didn't speak to park and sports field rentals at all. So Ms. Reid's been taking a deep dive into rental and cancellation policies to bring ours up to date, and certainly been meeting internally with staff from various departments that kind of intersect and interact with those different activities. There is a fair bit of work to do, and because it is such an extensive update, it's not what we would consider kind of a housekeeping exercise. We are looking to do some engagement with our user groups just to make sure that they are aware of the changes that are coming to the policy. The changes that are being made are certainly being made for efficiency's sake to streamline a lot of our policies and to, in all honesty, create policy where it doesn't exist currently, and we don't want to leave staff or our user groups with any gray areas. So really the key highlights of the booking and cancellation policy creation that will replace the ice and floor cancellation policy are to expand the scope of the policy, as I mentioned, to include facilities, sports fields, and parks, streamline the booking process and procedures, to provide updated cancellation guidelines. So that's something that has gotten out of date in the policy that we currently have, how we manage when we receive cancellations or when the city has to cancel permits for any particular reason. And then also to outline the various roles and responsibilities related to bookings. So that's something that we're in the process of undertaking right now. We are looking to do, as I mentioned, some consultation and then bring that back to council in January for council's review and approval.
I don't want to put her on the spot. Does she have anything to add that she'd like to add? Any challenges she's finding?
Okay, that's my first time using the mic. Okay, that's exciting. No, I think Jacqueline covered most of it. I guess I will add that we have been looking at other municipalities, like-sized municipalities, and kind of what their policy is, and kind of taking stuff from theirs and kind of bits and pieces that reflect how staff are currently doing their processes, but then also things that it makes sense to implement moving forward with our sports fields and the halls specifically.
That was my question. If you've been doing some sorry. Go ahead. Councillor Rigu, go first.
No, I'll finish, please.
That was going to be my question. Are you comparing to why reinvent the wheel if they can grab some stuff, pirate it, and away we go. By facilities, like the marina, for example, Battawa Hall, those are the kinds of facilities you were talking about?
Yeah, so the Trentport Marina has their own set of policies that they follow. So it's basically every other facility excluding the Trentport Marina. So yeah, the Battawa Community Hall, and then the facilities like multi-purpose rooms that we rent out for different meetings and things like that would all fall under this policy.
Councillor Reid?
Thank you very much. I just wondered if all of this booking now has to be done online, or can people still come to Frankfurt office and Trenton office to do it in person? Not everybody has accessibility nor for internet services, and some people don't have a device. So can it still be done face to face?
Thank you, through Mr. Chair, to Councillor Reid. Yes, it won't change the booking procedures to push everything online at this point. We are looking for more opportunities to make online bookings available, or to expand the scope of offering online bookings, but that won't take away from the fact that you can still come in and book facilities in person, or call in or send an email request and have staff follow up. So those will still continue to exist.
Thank you. I think that's very important that we keep that.
Councillor Boyce, anything?
No,
Councillor
not at all.
Kotzavos? Mr. Whitney? Mr. Fuller?
No.
Is there a penalty fee for canceling? Is there a time, like if you cancel within the last 24 hours, there's going to be a fee percentage or anything like that? Because you're taking away from maybe somebody else who wanted to book for it.
Thank you, through Mr. Chair. That is something that we are looking at right now. The timelines that are in the current policy that relate to ICE really don't align with the current practice that's in place, because right now, from an ICE cancellation policy perspective, I think that the timeline is 30 days that has to be, that we receive notice. We are looking at kind of two different streams of notification, one for major tournaments, because as you can imagine, it's harder to rebook a 3-day tournament that we might have that's booked all day for 3 straight days if we get a cancellation in short notice for something like that, versus just a one-off booking that we could resell probably 10 times over at this point, especially if it's primetime ice. So we are making different considerations for that, but certainly not to we want to work with the user groups and not be implementing harsh financial penalties at all, but all that'll come back in the draft when we present that in the new year.
I guess it's like a non-refundable deposit, for example. That, to me, provides, you taking some ownership that, you just can't do it whenever you want, cancel it. But if there's some money in the game, people might go the extra mile.
Right, yeah, we do, and we've been kind of moving to the practice of, especially for one-time bookings, that payment is due at the time of booking, just to avoid kind of that administration of following up and chasing people for payments and, notices and things like that. And that seems to be working well. I think that's a very standard industry practice right now. But obviously with our larger user groups, our minor sports organizations, they've got permits that extend several months, and invoices also that carry on through many months. So we work with them to ensure that the payment structure is supportive of their operations as well.
Does this also sort of involve, say, a group's had this time slot, in hockey or something, over 10 years kind of thing? Do they sort of get first crack for the next year? Or?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, there will be a portion of the policy that speaks to priority and how we allocate based on priority. So many allocation policies for sports fields and for ice, for example, for diamonds and soccer fields do have a priority ranking. So typically, city activities would come first, major tournaments, minor sports groups, and then kind of everybody else from there. So you will see that information in the draft policy when it comes forward, as well as a note about historical bookings and kind of carrying forward those same, timeframes. If a minor hockey group had every Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m., there would be consideration for that historical booking to carry forward in future years.
Anything else? Okay, item 8B.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. This will probably be the shortest update on the agenda today. We've been in contact with the Quinte Young Professionals and the Quinte West Chamber of Commerce, who've been assisting them through this process. We are of the understanding that their request for proposal for the beach volleyball courts has since closed, and they have received 3 bids for that process. When Acting CEO Angelo returns next week, we are sitting down to review those and then just chart out the path. But we were happy to hear that there were some bids, some interest in the project. So it looks like that we'll still be on track to move that forward for next spring.
Will we get a chance to see any kind of conceptual design?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we can certainly bring that back when we've got some more information once the RFP review has closed.
Any questions, around the table? Anything here? No? Okay. 8C, item 8C, Director Grimmin.
Thank you. I just have 2, brief slides. I just thought for those online, it might make it easier just to have a bit of a visual to go over some of this information. So in terms of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan engagement next steps, I know we talked about the fact that we did the first round of engagement in 2024. We had 3 different sets of survey series. We did a council and staff survey engagement. We did an open public call that we received good feedback on, and then we also did a targeted user group and stakeholder survey as well. Moving out of that, we are looking at a next round of engagement opportunities, and I know we've talked in previous meetings about a public open house. So I just wanted to share a proposed, format for that for early in 2025. Looking at the schedule, we really are down to the final weeks of the year and not wanting to rush that in before the holidays. It's not typically the best time to offer engagement opportunities, and people's minds are elsewhere leading up to the holidays. So we really want to make sure that we maximize the involvement and also build in some appropriate timelines to notify the public. So we did have on the books tentatively for January 23rd, a Parks and Rec committee meeting, and I'm just suggesting that we might look at replacing that with these public open house opportunities. So we are proposing as the major open house location at the Trentport Marina. We would look to do 2 sessions, and these times are open to the committee's feedback and consideration. I like to, when we do public open houses like this, offer 2 different times so that you can capture different audiences, whether you have a kind of an after work, a regular working day crowd, and then also some others that might be able to attend during the day. So we are proposing 2 different sessions on the same day, an afternoon and an evening. The format that we've talked about for those engagement sessions is not as formal as a public town hall style meeting. It would be kind of around the room, drop-in format. If it's from 2 to 4, you can come anytime during that time frame. There's no formal presentation as part of that engagement opportunity. And you can visit different stations around the room, have your feedback on different elements that will form the plan, whether that's indoor facilities, outdoor facilities, recreation programming in general, and services. Those will be different elements that people can take interest in and provide feedback on. For the purpose of that as well, we would also open up our engagement channels so that if someone wasn't able to attend on those days, they could also provide feedback to us electronically. I'll just flip over to one more slide and then I can come back for questions. The other two items that we're also proposing on a smaller scale are two additional pop-up style, so even less formal and smaller scale pop-up engagements that would be hosted by city staff in January and early February. We've got some possible locations, so whether, we pop up, for an afternoon or a morning at the Badawa rinks and hand out hot chocolate. It's meant to be, approachable, something where, we're handing out, lemonade stand style hot chocolate, and we would ask people to engage with us on the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. So those are just some thoughts. I'd be open to possible suggestions for the two kind of pop-up style. Those would be, like I said, smaller scale. Our consultant wouldn't necessarily come down for that. We would handle that at the staff level with 2-3 staff, and certainly open if there's members of the committee that wanted to assist with those efforts. That would be great too. And then the only other final one that we're working on, we've had some engagement with the Hastings Prince Edward District School Board, and we will extend the same to the Algonquin Lakeshore District School Board for a classroom engagement exercise to happen in January as well. The Hastings Prince Edward School Board's certainly been, very supportive of doing that with the Quinte West School, and getting a classroom or two to come in and work through a Parks and Recreation planning exercise with us that would also assist in the engagement efforts for the plan. So with that, I'll just maybe have the slides taken down and can turn it over to the committee for any thoughts or feedback on that approach.
I'll start with Councilor Boyce.
Can you hear me? Yep. My one question would be, and I see the pop-ups would be at two arenas. One arena and one another ice surface, the Badawa rinks. I think the results you would get would be a little slanted from the overall public. For example, if you did a pop-up at the curling club, I'm sure we'd hear that there should be another 50 curling clubs established throughout the area. I certainly agree that we should have something in Frankfurt and in Badawa. Maybe Badawa at the center, at the Badawa Community Hall might be a better idea, and I'm not sure whereabouts, the library or something in Frankfurt.
Thank you, through Mr. Chair to Councillor Boyce. Yeah, I'm happy to take that feedback. The two items that were on the list were just suggestions, and I wanted to kind of generate some conversation here at the committee level in terms of what we thought the best locations or opportunities would be for those pop-up style engagements. We had also proposed, one of those being outside at an outdoor venue, one being inside, but again, open to the committee's feedback on those. So thank you, Councillor Boyce, for that feedback.
Councilor Reid.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just to elaborate on Councillor Boyce's mentioned, the outdoor rinks are adjacent to the community center, so it could be advertised as at the community center, but you're also going to get some. The same thing with the arena. You could choose the Lions Hall, which are very willing to share. So the Lions Hall is an open venue for everybody to come. It won't necessarily have to be hockey people. That's just my feedback. You can also go to the Legion up in Frankfurt if you want more core center places to go. That was just a little thought. And you had mentioned Hastings Prince Edward School Board. What was the other one, Jacqueline, that you mentioned? Because I think we're more Kawartha Pine Ridge and Hastings Prince Edward.
Thank you, through Mr. Chair, to Councillor Reid. Yes, I'd mentioned, also the Algonquin Lakeshore, but yes, I can reach out to the Kawartha Pine Ridge School Board as well.
That involves Murray Centennial School, Stockdale School, a lot of people that are Quinte West, but happen to go to the schools.
Yep, we're happy to add that to the list. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Councillor Kotzebos.
Just to add to the other two councillors' comments, yeah, if we want to spread out the venue, just other suggestions, our library here gets a good traction of different age levels, and that would be one ideal spot. I was going to mention what Councillor Reid said, just in terms of the rinks being right at the center, so that's an excellent location as well. I would keep that one.
Mr. Whitney?
I have just one kind of clarification I need. When you're talking about going to the Trent Port Marina, and you're saying there's no formal presentation, so people are just going to walk in with assumed knowledge of the master plan or the goal of the master plan, or is it all going to be laid out there for them?
Thank you, through Mr. Chair, to Member Whitney. Yes, great question. So there will be kind of a bit of an admitting or a reception member of staff there, but then there will be a series of different stations around the room that relate to different elements that we've already engaged the community in, that we've started to hear some different information and themes on that will form areas and parts of the plan. So we would likely try to couple those into, broader buckets where people could go up and talk specifically about indoor facilities, whether that's an arena, a swimming pool, an indoor court of some sort, outdoor facilities, so parks, sports fields, and then other types of elements, whether that's, recreation programming, day camps, things that are more program and service based. Those are elements. So yes, it's kind of a choose your own adventure when you do arrive, but we will have staff there to kind of guide you and direct you to what might be of interest. We've had a lot of people reach out that they have interest in a particular area, and I think we'll see that with some of the user groups that might come to speak specifically to advocate for soccer, for instance, or for skate parks, dog parks. But then we'll also have different opportunities to capture things that might not already exist in the Parks and Recreation landscape in Quinte West, whether that's new opportunities like refrigerated skating trails. We keep hearing things about disc golf courses and things like that might be a bit unique that we haven't explored yet. So all of those opportunities will be available as part of the open house, but there will be kind of an admitting staff member to guide people when they do arrive.
Perfect, thank you.
Ms. Fuller?
Yeah, thank you. I always love open house formats. I always think you get a nice collection of people in and feedback. Two questions around that. How are we getting information out that these are happening? Do you have enough runway to get, for people to schedule that in? And then the second question to that would be, how are you collecting the feedback at these sessions? Because people will be giving you real-time input, I would imagine. Are you asking them to fill out a form and get back to you, or are we I'd like to understand how we're going to collect that data.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, to Member Fuller. Yeah, so in terms of the collection of the information, that will look similar and different at both the public open house versus the pop-ups. So at the public open house, there would be a number of different opportunities for people to provide feedback. We would have kind of what we call idea boards, where there would be a board that you could come up, have a conversation with a member of staff or one of our staff members from our consultant team, add something to a sticky note and kind of put it on that idea board after you've had your conversation about whatever the subject matter at that area is. Other places you might put a pin on a map in terms of the distribution of where you'd like to see recreation assets and amenities or programs and services around the city. So a number of different exercises that the consultant will then collect and then add that to the reporting out for the plan itself. In terms of the pop-up style engagement, it will be be a lot simpler, more to the Post-it note or kind of comment card style. We'll also have running kind of simultaneously the opportunity for people to provide that feedback electronically to us through the city's Get Involved platform. So if there's something that somebody wants to go away and think about, or perhaps put something more meaningfully in writing after they get back home, there's the opportunity for them to send that information to us electronically as well. So it'll be collected in a number of different ways, just to kind of get to the point of my answer. In terms of the communication strategies, so we are working with our corporate communications team. Like any project, we would map out the communication strategy for this, and that will include essentially all channels that the city has access to. So web, social media, we would run newsprint ads leading up to this as well. If you recall from our last engagement, we also undertook some kind of community billboard signage that were very graphic. We are looking to kind of carry forward that same look and feel so that people are familiar with that and kind of recall that from the last time they've seen it, to announce those public open house dates as well. So number of different channels. We're going to try and cover all the bases, but would also look to the committee to assist in any word of mouth and sharing that publicly as well when the time comes.
Another question, Mr. Whitney?
Yes, just more of a comment. I noticed slide 2, you mentioned the school involvement, and you said end of January, February. That will eliminate the high school kids because that's exams and semester 2. Just so you're aware of the timing of that.
I have a couple of questions. Is there any way of considering these displays that you're creating put online so people can look at them in advance? And say, like, I can't make it that day, but I can provide input by taking a look at that. I have no idea what the displays are like, but I didn't know if that's a possibility. That's the first question.
Through Mr. Chair, that's something we can take back to the consultant. When we look to build out the engagement platform, we would look to mirror some of the same look and feel or questions and themes that we are bringing forward to the public engagement session or the public open house. But yeah, I can take that feedback back to them and make sure that we do the best job to kind of mirror or marry those two up.
The second question, maybe I'm confused here. So people are going to be walking around these stations, et cetera, but is there an opportunity for them to make a presentation? Give them, say, 5 minutes to spiel.
Through Mr. Chair, not necessarily as part of that to the broader room. Certainly to a member of staff or to our consultant, you could have an in-depth conversation. We're trying to make the timelines flexible so that there are a couple of hours, both in the afternoon and the evening. So if you wanted to come for a short time or stay for a long time, that both those options are available.
Any other questions? Okay, I'm looking forward to this for sure. We've been anxiously awaiting the end of this trail and moving on to a new journey, hopefully. Okay, any other questions? Any more input?
Just to confirm, the committee is okay with that timeline of kind of replacing the January meeting with these engagement opportunities? If I could just get...
Do we need a motion?
Is that something we need a motion on? Yeah, we could take a motion on
Okay,
that.
Councillor Reid, first, seconder, anybody? Councillor Boyce, any questions? All in favor? Okay. Okay, that comes the end of our presentations. Do we have any other new business, other business anybody like to share? Councillor Boyce?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As we know, one of our themes of Quinte West is to be a vibrant and healthy community, and certainly parks and recs and the trails and the amenities that we offer play an important part. Next week we have our budget, we've got a draft budget that's just been made public, and I was wondering if Director Grimman can share some of the proposed projects that are up for discussion for next week, so that the public can be aware that there are some really exciting Parks and Rec ideas that are coming forward in terms of amenities. For example, the trail, the one trail will be discussed next week that we're looking at. So perhaps Director Grimman can talk about some of those, so anyone that's watching this can take it upon themselves perhaps to contact council and say, yeah, you know what, that's a great idea. Keep those projects in the budget.
Councillor Grimman, the Reader's Digest version, please.
Thank you, through Mr. Chair, to Councillor Boyce's question. You caught me. I don't have that document in front of me, but yes, at high level, we are looking to continue forward the project of the Centennial Park to Bain Park waterfront trail. Definitely a big project. We've received some funding to move that forward, and are looking forward to getting that underway and under construction. As Councillor Boyce mentioned, some exciting opportunities. As I mentioned, I don't have that budget document open and in front of me. The information is available online through the city's website at quintewest.ca. So the agenda is published now. The online version of the budget book, which is broken down into the various departments with the different initiatives, are all in there. Staff are more than happy to field any questions from members of the public on any information that's contained in the book as well. So if there was anything specific, sorry, Councillor Boyce, you kind of caught me off guard without that tab being open here. But yeah, I'm happy to, like I said, field any questions if members of the public are reviewing that document and have any questions either for myself or other members of our team.
Yeah, I just find that sometimes it's going to be a difficult budget, and people know that it's proposed at quite a high rate, and sometimes over the years I've felt that the low hanging fruit tends to be those parks. Like, I mean, one of the examples is we're looking at new playground structure at one of our places, and those tend to get picked up first. But I mean, I want to stress the importance that recreational infrastructure is so important, and we can't stress enough how we've got to improve our health and wellness in our community. We've got to have those necessary infrastructure. So I'm almost lobbying the public to contact their councillors and just let them know that parks and recreation, trails, infrastructure, etc., are really important to the community. That's my plug for Recreate.
Hear, hear.
Preaching to the choir.
Yeah, exactly.
Savos, anything to add? Mr. Whitney? Nope. Mr. Fuller? Nothing but parks?
No.
Councillor Reid? Mr. Boyce? Done? Yep. Anything else, sir, Mr. Chairman? Okay. The question about the trail. So we've got permission. That's been for that to go. Wasn't there an issue about crossing somebody's property?
Through you, Mr. Chair, to the committee, there will be information coming forward to council early in the new year about the various accesses that are required to complete the trail project.
Okay, just going to go around the room for any new business, anything in the city want to talk about. Boom. Mr. Councillor Reid, you've got something important to talk about. Saturday? I think we could talk about that. It's a good thing.
Of course, Saturday is a very important day in Frankfurt. It's the 33rd Frankfurt Santa Claus Parade, starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. After the parade, which will head up South Trent Street, and go left at the lights to Mill Street. You can go to the Legion afterwards and have a visit with Santa, have hot dogs and hot chocolate, all free of charge. After that, at 5 o'clock, there will be a small fireworks display hosted in memory of Jim Rose, who is an important person in the community. And then the fireworks, after the fireworks, there will be a lighting display turned on for the month of December. So it's a very exciting weekend in Frankfurt to kick off the Christmas season.
During the parade, is there food collecting?
In the parade, there will be food pantry items collected. There will be toy drive items collected. There will be things for pets by the Humane Society collected, as well as donations. So lots of opportunities to share throughout the Christmas season with a kickoff in Frankfurt Frankfurt parade.
Santa's letters?
I'm happy to say too, and maybe it sounds, but the Frankfurt Santa Claus Parade Committee has decided to dedicate the parade this year to former Councillor Keith Reed, who is my husband. He started the parade 35 years ago, and so it's being dedicated to him in his honor this year.
Great, and I think the crowd's going to be really big for this, for sure. While we're on the
Yellow truck will be in the parade.
Yes, for sure. While we're on the topic of things happening through the Christmas season, we have the Adopt a Child, the Christmas hamper program, and toy drive out there too, so that's helping our families. I know this might not be the committee to bring it up at, but I think it's okay to bring it up. That's all good stuff. Anything else? We're good?
No.
Did we set a record? Close. Okay, I ask for adjournment. Me too. Councillor Kotzavos, Councillor Reed. All in favor?